So today I'm going to take some cuttings from this hydrangea, and it's just flowering now, start of August, which is a great time to take some cuttings. So I'm going to find a leaf that hasn't got any flowers, and this would be perfect. So I'm going to use this for my cuttings. So once your cuttings have been taken, they're going to start losing moisture. They're full of water, the soft, spongy inside just keeps water. As soon as you've cut it away, it's going to start losing all its water. So it's best to get it done as soon as possible. If you do have to keep it for any length of time before you can plant them, then use a bag, or even just soak them in a pot of water for a while until you get round to potting them up. So we're going to do ours in several ways, and this is our first cutting that we've got. This is the mop head one, and I've taken quite a long bit of cutting. I didn't want to leave the stem on the plant. So we're going to make our cutting from the top half. We've got the top leaves and the soft bit that we don't really need. So I'm just going to cut the very top. I'm going to cut these leaves. We're going to cut this one, and this one. Looking at the better leaf, I'm going to cut this one, and then we're also going to cut the leaf in half because that's too much leaf. We don't need all that. There we go. So all that's going to go into the compost, and then we've got our cutting, and we need to make a cut underneath the bud, and we do that at a 45-degree angle. There we go, and that's our cutting. So you can either plant this in the water, just leave it in water, or another experiment is to put it in a pot, making a hole. You can use a compound, pushing it in, there we go, giving it a water. But I'm going to use another method, and I'm going to use 3 pots, and these are 3 glass containers. And I'm just going to snip the end of one of these just to make some holes, one either side. And I'm going to fill this with some compost. So here is our pot with the holes. And I'm going to dip a hole in the middle. So we're going to take our next cutting. We're going to do the same. Going to remove off the top, remove off the 2 sides, and remove one of the leaves. This one. And I'm going to cut this leaf down just over half. This one is going to sit into the pot, firming it in, and give it a water. the water can drain out the holes at the bottom, so that's good. The second cup we're going to take is going to make a mini propagator, and it's going to sit over the top. So this pot on top we're going to tape around the two edges. And we're going to make it sealed, so once it's watered we never have to come back and water it again. It's going to make its own mini propagator. So we've stuck that onto our two pots, and then the third pot is just going to sit inside just to catch any moisture that goes through the pot, and that's our cutting in our pot. So this is going to sit on a windowsill or in the greenhouse. Totally nothing needed doing again, and we'll come back in a few weeks and see what the results are. So here we go. For the third way of our propagation, add our water into our pot, and there we go, we add our cutting into the water. So there we go, there's three ways of propagating our hydrangea. So let me know in the comments, have you propagated any cuttings of hydrangea? Let me know in the comments which method has worked well for you. We'll come back and have a look and see what the results are. Thank you. So 4 weeks later, we've still got the pot is still green and still kept moist. The one in the water is slowly, I think there's a root coming through here, and then we've got the one in our pot which we've not touched at all, and it's growing quite nicely. We can see there's a couple of shoots coming out, we can see that in there. This hasn't been touched, no water, just proper from the propagator. So it's good, quite nice to see an update on their progress. So this is our hydrangea cuttings, and they've been growing for at least 2 months now. The first one we did in water, it's still surviving, but there's not much roots to grow. There is some buds, some roots coming out the buds, so we'll let that continue growing. The one in the pot, we can see it's firm in there, and we can actually see some roots coming through the bottom. You can see them. It's got some weeds too. And also the one in the pot, we can see around the edge here, if you can see, there's quite a few roots all around the edge. This has not been touched It's not been opened. As we can see, it's still looking quite healthy inside, quite green. So that's a perfect way of doing hydrangea cuttings and just forgetting about them in the greenhouse. That is really, really pleasing. See them? Really, really good. So let me know in the comments if you've done hydrangea cuttings, and that'd be great. Let me know which way you've done it.